is Reverend Crystal Bates. She is the founder and president of the DFW Metro NAACP, president and founder of C. Bates Communication Building Attitudes to Encourage Success, focusing on environmental and climate justice and civic engagement, and a minister at Friendship West Baptist Church. This past June, she completed her term as the first African American to serve as president of the Pell Rotary Club. Reverend Bates holds a bachelor's degree in economics with a minor in business administration from the University of Texas in Arlington, and is a graduate from the Lyndon B. Johnson Women's Campaign School at UT in Austin. And I know Reverend Bates, and she's also just a phenomenal human being.
Good evening, Denton. Woo! First, I want to give a huge thank you to the organizers of tonight's event and rally. You always do an amazing job, and I thank you always for inviting me to participate with you all. So, looking around this crowd, it fills me with so much hope. I see people of every race, every generation, every faith, every background standing together because we believe our voices matter. That is what democracy looks like. Tonight we gather in the spirit of a man who reminded America that freedom is never given. It must be won. Congressman John Lewis challenged each of us to get into good trouble, necessary trouble. Not trouble fueled by hate, but trouble fueled by courage. Trouble fueled by love. Trouble fueled by justice. Trouble fueled by the belief that ordinary people can change history. John Lewis crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge knowing he could be beaten, jailed, or even killed. But he marched on anyway. He marched because every American deserves an equal voice. He marched because democracy is worth protecting. He marched because silence has never changed history. And because he stood, America moved one step closer to becoming the nation it promised to be. That is good trouble. Today, good trouble doesn't always look the same, but sometimes it looks like showing up at a city council meeting. Sometimes it looks peacefully raising your voice. Sometimes it looks like registering voters, helping your neighbor, speaking up when something isn't right, or refusing to let fear keep you silent, because democracy depends on all of us. The Constitution begins with three powerful words. We the people. Not we the powerful, not we the wealthy, not we the privileged. We the people. Those words remind us that our democracy is strongest when people participate, when people vote, when people volunteer, when people stay informed, when people engage with their communities. Our freedoms are not self-sustaining. Every generation has been called to protect them. Now it is our turn. So tonight is about more than gathering. Tonight is about making a commitment to stand up, to speak out, and to serve. A commitment to leave this country better than what we found it. Because democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires participation from each and every one of us. John Lewis said, Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get into good trouble, necessary trouble. So let's go make some good trouble. The kind that builds bridges instead of walls, the kind that expands opportunity, the kind that protects freedom, and the kind that defends justice, the kind that leads our children and grandchildren a stronger democracy than the one we inherited. Because when we choose courage, we grow stronger. When we choose service, we grow stronger. When we choose hope, we grow stronger. And when ordinary people stand together, democracy grows stronger. So do not let tonight be the end of your involvement. Let tonight be the beginning. Leave here and register others to vote. Volunteer in your community. Show up at your school board meetings, your city council members, and hold your elected officials accountable. Protect the rights of your neighbors, and when you see injustice, do not just look away. Speak up, stand up, and show up, because good trouble isn't about making noise just for one night. It's about making a difference every single day. So let's honor John Lewis, not only with our words tonight, but with our actions tomorrow. Now, this is where everybody got to get involved and put your mouth on it. So I have questions. Are you going to leave here tonight and organize?
Yeah!
Are you going to leave here tonight and make sure you vote?
Yeah!
Are you going to leave here tonight and register other voters?
Yeah!
Are you going to serve your community?
Yeah!
And where we all keep making good trouble.
Oh yeah!
So let's go out and make good trouble and do the work. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America.
So that was a phenomenal speech. And when she talks about doing the work, one thing I can say about her is she does the work. She is so hardworking. Every time I turn around, every time I go to an event, whether it's for education, for voting, for organizing, Crystal is there leading the fight. And she's been a mentor and friend to me in my life. So I'm super grateful for her. And that speech was fire. So next we have Dr. Delvin Atchison, and I just want to say a few words before I get into the blurb that they gave me to say about him. He is the pastor over Westside Baptist in Louisville, where I'm from, and I really think of Westside Baptist as a light on the hill, and I say that because when we talk about doing the work, when we talk about organizing, I think of his church as a church that acts. We are in some interesting times, and a lot of times people have decided to not act at all. But that's not Westside. When you see them, they're out here, they're working, they're mentoring, they're inspiring, they're strolling to the polls, they're reminding you to vote. They are building up leaders in our community, and so we are so grateful for him. Dr. Delvin Atchison serves as the senior pastor of Westside Baptist Church in Louisville, Texas, bringing over 40 years of ministry experience to the pulpit. He is also a former director of the Great Commission team of Texas Baptists. Dr. Atchison holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Texas at Austin and a Master's of Divinity with honors from George W. Truett Seminary at Baylor University. He also studied at the Vatican in Rome and at Regent's Park College, Oxford University. Dr. Atchison has published articles in Christianity Today, Common Call, The Truett Pulpit, and Epitome. He is also dedicated to mentoring the next generation of ministers, a native of Henry, Texas, and the fifth of 6 siblings. Dr. Atchison is grounded in family and in love, and he is married to his wife, Dr. Brenda Atchison, and together they are the proud parents of 5 children and grandparents to 3.
Come on!
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Paige, for that introduction. After an introduction like that, I thought about something Lyndon Johnson said once. After being given one of those ornate introductions, he said, "That's an introduction that my father would be proud of and my mother would believe." So thank you for the kindness of both of me and the church. Let me say thank you for this invitation to come and to share my convictions. I want to recognize my wife is here, Dr. Brenda Atchison. She's over there talking and not listening to me. And my sister is here who lives in Kuwait, Dr. Cassie Atchison. She is here for the summer, and so I'm grateful. Let me apologize. I had a prepared speech, but if you would permit me, let me speak from my heart. Some years ago, I took a car that I had I was driving a Lincoln Town car, and I took it to the repairman. When we got in there, Lincoln Town cars had what were called air shocks. And if you didn't turn off the button, they would explode. So as my car was being repaired, I hear this loud noise in the back. I go back and I see the mechanic laughing, he and some other people. He told me that he had popped the air shocks and he would have to go and order some. He gives me a car. It's the middle of July. He gives me a car with no air. I drive about 5 miles. It runs out of gas. I'm a Baptist preacher, but I was thinking some things that Paul didn't write at the time. Upon being told my car had been repaired, I go back, and when I get back, the man said I owed him. I said, "No, you broke my car, you didn't fix it." He said, you owe me. I said, "You don't want me to give you what I owe you." So I ended up saying to the man, "Give me my keys." He said, "I'll take you to court." I said, "Do you?" When I arrived at court that day, and I asked my father to come from Hearn, I was pastoring in Crockett. My father came over from Hearn to meet me, and when we met, my father looked at the man and said, "If I pay you for this, can all this just go away?" And me, in what I thought was my righteous indignation, said, "I said I'm not going to pay him." He said, "I didn't ask you to pay him." I said, "I was going to pay him." He said, "I've never been in trouble. Your mother has never been in trouble. Your sisters and your brothers haven't been in trouble. Do you know how long I had my name before I gave it to you?" My father was borrowing, in essence, from the thought of the French philosopher Lyotard, who says that we are a part of a large meta-narrative. My daddy was saying to me that though my journey began with me, my story didn't begin with me. That I was the chapter in a book that had been being written before I was ever born. And my responsibility was to make sure that the chapter that follows me makes the book better and not worse. My father was saying to me that the legacy I leave ought to be greater than the heritage I received. About 6 years ago, on this day, John Lewis took a final journey. And that journey, he is challenging us, in essence, to be the next chapters of his story. We meet today to cause good trouble. What will we write in the book? What will our chapter say? In order to appreciate that though our journey begins with us, our story did, we've got to acknowledge that the reality of voting in America, we come from a painful past. A past that men would get together and say that all men are created equal and given certain rights by their creator, only to say that all men doesn't include all men or all women, but all white, straight men who own land. And the audacity or sheer historical hypocrisy of people who decide to be independent by declaration and would lay hold to a group of people who had to be emancipated by proclamation. All men are created equal, right to vote given. The great tragedy of our history is that we cannot ignore it or we are doomed to repeat it. What we're seeing now is not the first time. It's not the first time times have been bad. It's not the first time we've been challenged. It's not the first time that a narcissistic, egomaniac, well, anyway. It's not the first time that we've been led by someone who gives us challenges. If we acknowledge the painfulness of our past, it will help us to write a better story. The reality is, I was born in August of 1965. Civil Rights Bill was passed in July of 64. In July of 65, the Voters' Rights Act was passed. America celebrated 250 years of being a democracy, not from where I sit, because I'm the first person in my family to really be born an American. And we must never forget that those challenges in our past will rear their ugly heads again and again, that the fight over the Edmund Pettus Bridge is a reminder to us. Lewis's life, his marches are reminders to us that the past is quite painful. Hear those words, won't you? Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. We've had a painful past, but we've had some persistent people. I am the descendant of people who believed in America and equality in principle, even if they did not see it in practice.
Right.
They fought to go fight for this concept of freedom. They fought in Germany, and the German word, whenever they were criticized for the way they treated the Jews, was Mississippi. And yet they fought. They rode the back of the bus to go to training areas to go fight for freedom because they believed in it. They believed what Du Bois said about the Negro in America having a salvific purpose. We were to be the conscience of this country. We would not give in on it. We were like Barbara Jordan. I believe in the Constitution completely and totally. We knew, in the words of Douglass, that freedom was never given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. And we were a people who were so persistent that with people like John Lewis, young people who were willing to risk their lives, but not just there, not just that chapter, but what about here in Denton? Quakertown. Quakertown reminds us of how important it is to vote, because it was not removed, this bustling African-American community was not removed by bullets, it was not burned down, but it was by ballots. It was moved by 123 votes. What about the Denton women of Interracial League, who dared to come together and took people who were rejected and led them to be elected? It is this spirit that we are a part of. It is this idea, it is this story that we carry, that we refuse to give in. We refuse to give up. We will not give in on the idea of America. I see people now who claim America is only for a certain few, and they say to people who don't look like them or act like them, go back to where you came from. I'm from Central Texas.
You don't want to go back there.
Go back. No, I've invested too much. Each of us has invested too much for us to allow anybody to co-opt what America is. We've invested too much. We've got too much in this country to allow somebody else to tell us what an American looks like. It looks like you. It looks like me. And the way we do that is by exercising the right to vote. We indeed have had a painful past. We've been inspired by some persistent people, but it brings us to the purpose of this present. Here now we stand with an opportunity to change the world. Here now we stand, these purveyors, as it were, of good trouble. Here now we stand, And we say we ain't going back. We refuse to give up. We refuse to believe that the America that is the best that she can be. We continue to work for a more perfect union. We refuse to believe in a Texas where it's easier to get a gun than a ballot. We refuse to believe in a country where people are making it hard to vote, where the John Lewis Voters' Right Act is still up on the shelves, and this Save America Act that wants to make America make America great again. Is it that America is to be great or to hate? It's one of them. I keep forgetting.
Right.
Insert laughter here. That was a joke. We refuse to give up, so that our purpose here is to remind everybody that our best days are still ahead.
Right.
That the true American spirit says, no, we will not give up. The true American spirit says we don't quit just because times get hard. The true American spirit says we are now here at a place where we are facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. March, that denotes unity. March, that denotes formality. March, that denotes uniformity. We are here to march, and we will fight until victory is won. I want to make sure that the next chapter I write is better than the one I was given. What will your chapter say?
Thank you, Dr. Ashley. I also enjoyed your sermon on Wednesday. I was watching online, Ruth and Naomi. I got a little Ruth in me.
I know.
All right, so our next person is going to be Matt Getz. No, I'm wrong. Matt Grisby. Yes,